Hi everybody, it's Dr. Bam. So I wanted to take a moment to maybe add a little bit extra to this assignment just to support your knowledge of the zone of proximal development, scaffolding, and the more knowledgeable others. So this concept derived from Vygotsky has us looking at where do children learn, and that learning that occurs is what we call the zone of proximal development, or more commonly referred to as the child's ZPD, so just shortened for zone of proximal development. So in this image here, you can see what I can learn on my own and what I know on my own. Think of it not just what I can learn on my own, but what can I do on my own. I don't need someone's help to achieve that. So when we're looking at things like reading levels of children, that would be what can they read comfortably on their own without any support from somebody else. Then we have the gray area, which is really considered where new concepts can occur. And that is learning that can occur with the more knowledgeable other. And so our book talks slightly about the more knowledgeable other, but this key point isn't gone into detail and it does need expanding. So we often call the more knowledgeable other the MKO, just shortened for more knowledgeable other. And the more knowledgeable other can be anyone who has the understanding that the learner does not have. For our instance, that the child does not have. So in most children's cases, this can be the parents, the teachers, older siblings, other students in the class that already have gained that knowledge. It can also be the technologies and tools if they have been formulated to provide the correct scaffolding and knowledge building skills. So many of our current apps are built as the technology being the more knowledgeable other that can scaffold the child's learning. And all scaffolding means is that we are going to go to where the child is at and build the skills up to where we want them to be. And so what ZPD tells us is that we have what we can do on our own. We have our gray area here, which is the area of learning, but then we have that area that's kind of in the white, and this is beyond their reach. So if I'm looking at my second grade daughter, Cora, and I want to present her with some how to do f of x in college algebra, that is so far beyond her reach. We don't even have to go that far. We could say we want her to add and subtract decimals. Does she know how to add and subtract? Yes, that's within her blue zone. Could she add and subtract 4-digit numbers? Well, she hasn't really gotten there in second grade, but probably with a more knowledgeable other, she could be shown how to add and subtract 4-digit numbers. Can she add and subtract decimals, not really having the understanding that there are portions or parts of a number? Probably not. That is still probably beyond her reach without considerably more scaffolding to get her there. And so that white area is something that we wouldn't teach adding and subtracting decimals to a second grader, a first semester second grader, who doesn't have a concept of fractions, doesn't have a concept of partial numbers, because that knowledge isn't even in their reach. And so this really helps us look at a child, know what they can do on their own, know what's in that boundary or that ZPD, the zone of proximal development, where we can actually teach them, get them there, and then the zone will move forward as that knowledge is gained, and so on, up until where we need them to be. And so this helps us in many ways when working with children, our own children, children in a school environment, or children within the community, is when we are sitting down with them. We need to start with what they know so that we can know what's the next step, so that we are working within their zone of proximal development and not going beyond their reach or not being boring because we're already teaching something they already know. Okay, that's all I have for now. This should help you in answering this question, and I look forward to talking to you more.